Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. 3 games in 4 days between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Baltimore Orioles. Would have loved to sweep that doubleheader and get 4 wins there, but it's very hard to sweep a doubleheader. Though it was possible, but especially when it's hot real early in the day and then you get a rain delay for the second game. Yeah. And not only are there 4 games for me to get through, there is a butt ton of trades and then corresponding roster moves to get through. So, yeah, let's get right into it. But please don't worry if you're confused. I am too. As you can see, I'm on MassonSports.com. Get to game 1. Toronto Blue Jays 5, Baltimore Orioles 11. This from Camden Yards. This game 1 of a doubleheader, scheduled Monday. Game back on, what was it? I want to say it was May 14th, was rained out. One of these was a makeup game. I think it was the second one that they actually, because of ticketing, really. So it was a single admission doubleheader. My first one, oddly enough, as many baseball games as I've been to. Never been to a full double header like that with one ticket needed. Interesting. Long day at the ballpark. Again, really hot and then rain delay, which made it even longer. Cowser leading off. Didn't mention, but I had stopped on a headline on the homepage. Cowser's actually gotten a bigger bat. It's only like a half an inch, but it's making the difference. He is on a 13-game hitting streak. He's hitting very well post All-Star break and has earned him a spot in the leadoff position. So far, it's pretty good. I mean, if Cowser can stay going, him at leadoff, and between 2, 3, and 4, Santander, Henderson, Rutschman, it's a very good top 4 of the lineup. Cowser 1 hit, RBI, 2 runs scored. Santander 2 hits, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Henderson 1 hit, 2 RBIs. Very odd that he's hitting in a 3-hole. I'm like, hey, hit Henderson down in the 3-hole, drive runs in. And he drives no runs in. The guys in the first and second part of the top of the lineup, they were the ones driving all the runs in. Weird, right? Mountcastle 3 hits, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. O'Hearn 0 for, but did get an RBI. And the top 5 batters, Cowser, Santander, Henderson, Mountcastle, O'Hearn, with 1 walk. Very nice to see the lineup working a count. Though at the same time, Mr. Rodriguez, oh my God, they got 2 guys, Rodriguez, and both of them start with a Y. Oh my God, really? Yariel and Mr. Mouse, cooperate. Yuri. Wow. Okay. Well, the first Mr. Rodriguez in this game did not pitch well. That's probably an understatement. It might be one of the worst starts for a pitcher to start the game ever. Picking back up at the lineup here, I got sidetracked as I often do. Pache came into play defense because O'Hearn started in right field later in the game and actually got a hit. First and maybe only hit as an Oriole. Westberg 3 hits, 2 RBIs, a run scored. Mullins a hit, a run scored, also walked once. Urias over, but with 2 RBIs and walked twice. McCann with a hit, an RBI, and a run scored. Yeah, this Mr. Rodriguez that started the game, he walked 4 batters. Mullins reaches on catcher's interference, and he hits James McCann in the face. threw 40 pitches, 40 something pitches in the first inning, which kind of led to that. Yeah, 43 pitches. McCann, yes, that is another big story. McCann hit in the face in that first inning. Came at him because he's a right-handed batter. Did kind of glance off the helmet a little bit, but really caught him like right here. Eye in the nose, definitely has fractures in his nose. Gonna need to be set later whenever there's an off day. Has been wearing a mask, a protective mask while hitting, and oddly enough, he finished catching this game. Yeah, man. I mean, again, it was a crazy ass day at the ballpark, man. Hot, sweating your tail off. You see that crazy first inning. You look at this crazy score, and it's like, oh yeah, there's a whole nother game to be played today. Oh, and then there was like, what, an hour and a half rain delay. Westberg with 3 doubles, Mullins with 1 double, Mountcastle Santander with home runs. O'Hearn actually with a caught stealing. Looked more like a hit and run, but give it a caught stealing. Several errors. They didn't give him errors in this game? Okay. It was the later of the game. Alright. Get my games mixed up because I saw 2 in that day. Zach Eflin gets the start in game 1 of this doubleheader. Newly acquired Zach Eflin. Pitched okay. I mean, he pitched more like a middle of the rotation guy instead of the top of the rotation guy that maybe he once was. But he pitched very nicely. Conditions considering. Having a long layoff in that very long inning for the Orioles at the plate. That's kind of a tribute to that. Does go 6 full innings, only 98 pitches, which is fine. Does give up 10 hits, which is a bit too much, but again, a long layoff can do that. Does give up 3 runs, doesn't walk anybody, which is great. Strikes out 7. So, yeah, not a bad performance at all. Aiken in relief of Eflin. Pitches 1 full inning, the 7th inning. 1 hit, 1 run. Doesn't walk anybody, strikes out a batter. Birch Smith in for the 8th and the 9th. Does give up 2 hits and a run. No walks, strikes out 3. And again, the craziness continues. Again, game 2 from Monday. Toronto Blue Jays 8, Baltimore Orioles 4. Orioles committed 3 errors in this game. 2 by Westberg and 1 by O'Hearn. Cowser hitting lead up. I'm going to say lineup, top of the lineup or lead off at the same time. Cowser leading off again. 2 hits, 2 RBIs, a run scored. Rutschman back in there. Not going to catch him twice in one day. Ofer. Santander 1 hit. Mountcastle 1 hit. Did walk once as well. O'Hearn a hit and a run scored. Westberg 2 hits, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Kerstad, Ofer. Westberg did work a walk. You can also see here shortstop giving Gunnar Henderson a game off. Didn't work out that well. Arias 1 hit. Norby 1 hit. Sadly, last game in an Oriole uniform for Connor Norby. Very disappointed in that, but again, get to all those trades later. O'Hearn, Norby with doubles. Westberg, Cowser with home runs. Westberg with 2 errors, a fielding error and a throwing error. Not good for your debut at shortstop in the major leagues. Not good at all. O'Hearn also with a fielding error. Cade Povich brought up as the 27th man for this doubleheader, getting the start. Not a great start, but at the same time, not helped out by his defense. Did have a man picked off, threw it over to O'Hearn, who kind of held on to it a little too long, and I don't think he cleared the lane enough, but the ball hits Westberg in his glove. And again, it hit him in his glove. He didn't catch the ball, it hit him in the glove. So there should have been an out there. Instead, you had a runner at second base. Or did he even get to third base on that? So while you look at these numbers by Povich, 4 1/3 innings pitched, gives up 7 hits, 6 runs, 3 earned runs, 5 walks, and 1 strikeout. He didn't really help himself out at all, but the defense absolutely let him down. Because you could just subtract 3 runs from this, and it looks so much better. Now the walks, they hurt, but at the same time, how many of those walks could have been erased if he'd have been able to get out of the inning? Jacob Webb on in relief of Povich, finishing out the 5th inning. Does give up a hit, but no runs. Does walk a batter, strikes a batter out. Cole Irvin in relief of Webb, pitching the 6th, 7th, and 8th. 3 full innings, giving the bullpen a break. Again, might be the last time we see Cole Irvin. 3 innings pitched, not a bad line at all. Does give up 4 hits and 1 run, but again, in 3 innings. Doesn't walk anybody and strikes out 5. It's a pretty good performance. Does give the offense a chance to get back into the game, though they didn't. Kimbrel on in the 9th inning, not a save situation. Just getting some work in. Corus gives up a hit, a run, and a walk, and strikes out a batter, so did kind of prompt more moves for bullpen pieces. Again, I'll get to that later. Let's get to game 3. I guess, what is this? Tuesday now? 4 games in 3 days will do that to you. Toronto Blue Jays 2, Baltimore Orioles 6. Cowser, again, leadoff. 2 hits and 5 at-bats. That's pretty good. Rutschman, a hit, a run scored, also worked a walk. Henderson, a hit, scored twice, walked once. Santander, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, scored once, walked once. O'Hearn, a hit and an RBI, walked once. Mountcastle, over. Westberg, over, back at second base. Mullins, a hit and a run scored, also worked a walk. Arias, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, scored once. Santander with a double, Santander and Arias with home runs. Mullins stole a base. Arias and Cowser caught stealing. Corbin Burns pitched this game. That's why the lines look, the numbers look a lot better. Corbin Burns out there. 6 2/3 of an inning. Disappointing that he couldn't get through that, through the 7th inning, but it does happen, I guess. He got up there in the pitch count. Brandon Hyde was trying to stretch him a little too much, but hopefully no damage done. Again, 6 2/3 inning. Gives up 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, strikes out 7. It's a very good line there. Cionel Perez on in relief of Burns. Pitches 2/3 of an inning. Does give up a hit, but no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Cano in relief of Perez. Also pitching 2/3 of an inning. This would be finishing off the 8th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Sir Anthony Dominguez in for the 9th. Not a save situation. Pitches the full 9th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Looks to be a very good acquisition. Talk about him becoming more of a 2-pitch pitcher. The fastball and the slider. 2-seamer gets hit a little too hard. I mean, it is his 3rd pitch. It's going to get harder than his fastball, which is very fast, and its slider, which is it's a little more late breaking than some of the other sliders out there. Let's get to game 4. The early game, few moves. Might see a few of them in this game because trade deadline was. See what this is Thursday's game. Wednesday it was like 6 p.m. right before the game Wednesday night. There you go. The day game: Toronto Blue Jays 4, Baltimore Orioles 10. Still committing errors. 2. Cows are still leading off and getting hits out of the leadoff spot. 2 hits and RBI scored twice. Santander 2 hits and RBI scored once. Pache, defense replacement late, does not get in at bat. Henderson 2 hits, 2 and RBI, walked once, scored twice. Excuse me. O'Hearn no hits, but he did drive in a run. Mountcastle hit 2 RBIs, walked once, scored once. Mullins reading the wrong column there. 2 hits, no RBIs, but he walked 3 times. That's fantastic. And scored once. Really need to see Cedric Mullins get on base more. It's definitely going to put a lot of more pressure on the pitcher. Westberg over, but he did score once. What happens when errors take place? No, this is right. This is when he got hit. He gets hit in this game. Tried to stay in there, but ultimately he couldn't go out and play the field and will be on the injured list for some time with fractures in his hand. Disappointing. But that'll mean more playing time for Arias, who in one at bat got a hit, also worked the walk. Jackson Holliday, because Connor Norby traded away, very disappointing. Jackson Holliday gets called up. Him over Mayo, mostly because second base, shortstop is kind of what you needed on this team. Just because, what happened when Westberg went and played shortstop. And, of course, now you don't have Westberg. Jackson Holliday, 1 hit, 4 RBIs, and a run scored. That's right. It's a grand slam. So, a little bit of bittersweet moment there with Westberg getting hits. But not only Holliday's first home run, but the sound it made off the bat and where it landed. Landed on Utah Street. First home run in the major leagues is a grand slam and a no-doubter grand slam. You didn't even have to see the trajectory. You heard it. The sound of that bat hitting that baseball, and it was you heard it and it was like, that's gone. Where'd the ball go? I don't know. It's gone. It's a home run. Crushed it. No, didn't hit the warehouse. He's not Ken Griffey Jr. And he didn't pull the ball that much. People don't realize, Griffey really pulled that ball. So, you get it more towards right field instead of, say, the foul line. Yeah, it's a lot further out there. But yeah, it's like almost in the middle. Not like short Utah Street, right? It's like long or middle Utah Street. So, very good moment there. Though at the same time, he was still 1 for 5. So he looks fine fielding at second base. I still question the throwing. James McCann back in the lineup. Some people can get hit in the face all day and it doesn't do anything to them, I guess. A hit and a run scored, also walked once. McCann with a double, Mountcastle and Henderson with triples. Yeah. Okay. Kowser Holiday home runs. Mullins stole a base. Again, Henderson fielding error. Probably because he's the only shortstop on the damn team. Grayson Rodriguez got to start in this game, pitches 6 full innings, gives up 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, walks 3, strikes out 8. Very good performance by Grayson Rodriguez, who's now up to 13 wins. tops in the majors. Well, you see, tops are tied for the tops. He's with the leaders up there, which is very good. And I know wins don't matter that much because you know how much run support are you getting, but he's getting up there in the league leader for numbers and such. Aiken on in relief of Rodriguez. 1 full inning, the 7th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Kimbrel in relief of Aiken. Pitches a full inning, the 8th inning. Again, trying to give him some lower leverage spots. Trying to get him righted. He looks pretty righted in this outing. We'll see moving forward. No hits, no runs. Did walk a batter, but strikes 2 out. Did all that in 22 pitches, which isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible, I guess. You definitely would like to see him do it in less than 20 pitches, but 2 strikeouts it would do that. I mean, he's going to elevate the pitch count a little bit. Birch Smith in for the 9th inning. Pitches the full 9th inning. 1 hit, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. So there's that. Something I want to call your attention to. It's something I mentioned. Managing decisions in the Yankee series and the way they pitch to Aaron Judge. The Blue Jays are sellers. Monday, Turner was in the lineup and he was removed from the lineup. He was not involved in any kind of injury or collision or anything. And as we all suspected, he was traded. So, with Turner out of the lineup and Bichette on the injured list, Guerrero really doesn't have any protection. So why do you pitch to the guy? Look, I mean, here he's going 1 for 4 with an RBI, and you see, they pitched to him, and, they were able to get him out. What is Grayson Rodriguez doing that? What did Corbin Burns do? He only gave Guerrero 2 at-bats. Walked him twice. Take a look at this doubleheader. Some of the damage Guerrero did during this doubleheader. 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs in the second game of the doubleheader. But look at Varsho, 0 for 1 at-bat. Horowitz, 0 for 5 at-bats. Why are you pitching to Guerrero? Mr. Schneider hitting behind Guerrero. 0 for 4 at-bats. Did walk once. Why are you pitching to Guerrero? Taking a look at Game 1. Game 1's a little different because you see Horowitz here in front of Guerrero. 2 hits and 5 at-bats. A little harder to pitch around Guerrero when the guy in front of him is getting on. But Guerrero still 3 hits and 5 appearances, 2 RBIs. And yeah, you see Turner here hitting behind Guerrero 1 for 1. And then Barger 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs hitting behind Guerrero. So it's really about how you handle the guy in front of Guerrero and a guy behind Guerrero, which, yes, they are Major League ball players, but at the same time, attack them, get them out, and then don't pitch to Guerrero because nobody else in the Toronto lineup was really doing much of anything to the Oriole pitching. But yet, they were pitching to Guerrero. And again, even when they were pitching around him, just walk the guy. Why waste the pitches? Why? There's no point. I mean, like, Burns here. Just intentionally walk Guerrero. They didn't intentionally walk him. Did they intentionally walk him at all? I feel like they did. Does it get listed? I feel like I have seen intentional walk listed somewhere. Doesn't look like it, do they, at all? No. I didn't look it up before I started this. I should have, I guess. Oh, here you go. IBB. Intentional walk. They did it to Guerrero once, and that was it. And this was in the This was the second game of the doubleheader. You only did that once. Why? Like, why pitch to him? I mean, it could have saved Burns a few pitches and he could have gotten through the seventh inning, but because he threw an extra at least 4 pitches to Guerrero. Okay. Whatever, man. I mean, I don't get that. All right, let's get to some of the articles and try to explain some of the roster moves here. It's not going to be easy because I mean, since the trade deadline, if you include Sir Anthony Dominguez and Eflin, the Orioles brought in like 9 players and sent out, 10 or 11? Something like crazy numbers. Probably the highest numbers that I've seen the Orioles do at the deadline. I don't think I've ever seen the Orioles do this much at the deadline. Of course, they haven't really been that competitive as much. I'm not going to go through these articles. I'm using these articles to cite where I'm getting some of this information from. So we'll cite Steve Molesky and Brock Kubatko, and we'll even cite Masson's staff. A lot of information here going on. The Eflin and the Sir Anthony Dominguez moves, I think I've already said who was going up and coming down. But because of McCann being hit in the face, they wanted a third catcher on the club. McCann refusing. That's where we're paraphrasing. So we're not saying that he got in Hyde's face and says, I'm not going on the injured list. But refusing to be put on the injured list. Blake Hunt being recalled from Norfolk. Now, designating Cole Irvin for assignment, you can do that. Like 13 pitchers is the most you can have on the club. Now you can go with 12 pitchers and then 14 hitters. You can do that, but you can't do that the other way. You can't do 14 pitchers and then 12 hitters. But again, this is why they're allowed to do this. Blake Hunt, Cole Irvin getting designated for assignment. Disappointing, especially with the last outing. I thought he looked pretty good. Take a look at some of these other roster moves, again by Masson's staff. Activating DH/outfielder Eloy Jimenez. Start with some position players. It might be a little easier. Activating outfielder Austin Slater. Infielder Levon Soto. Corresponding moves there are... Oh, God. Heston Kjerstad getting option to AAA. Kind of knew that was coming with all the pieces they were bringing in. Jordan Westburg being placed on the injured list. Very disappointing. Right hand fracture. He's on a 10-day list for now. As of right now, I don't have any more information as far as timetable. And designating Christian Pache, newly acquired Christian Pache, for assignment. Oh, well, I guess, right? All right, let's get to some of the pitchers here. Trevor Rogers activated left-handed starting pitcher. And therefore, left-handed pitcher Keegan Aiken optioned to Norfolk, which I didn't know Aiken had options left. Oddly, why did they not option Aiken down instead of losing Bauman the way they did? That was slightly odd, that situation, but whatever. Something not on here, as I mentioned, Blake Hunt was brought here in backup of James McCann. Blake Hunt has now been sent away, and getting another pitcher back, Soto. What was Soto's name? God. So, I mean, he wasn't on any of these lists. He was in a few of these articles. We'll go with Mr. Soto for now from Philadelphia. Getting a left-handed reliever. I don't see it. I'm gonna close it out. I don't know why he's not on this list, but whatever. Masson. Other moves made. God. Again, you saw. Who isn't here? I mean, it's a flurry of moves. Vavra was up here at one time, been sent down to get Jackson Holiday up here. Like, oh my God. It's so confusing. How do you keep track of this shit? Very difficult to keep track of some of this stuff. It really is. More like, around now. Something actually it mentioned in one of these articles here. And I mentioned Norby not on the team. That's where Vavra's spot came from. Vavra had a spot because Norby sent away. Then the next day, Vavra gone, Holiday up. Now, to get left-handed starting pitcher Trevor Rogers, Mike Elias traded away to Miami Marlins, traded away Norby and Stowers. So, I'm a little pissed. Because how long have I been sitting here saying I want to see Stowers play? I feel like he was definitely Major League ready. He deserved a shot, and I wanted to see more of him because for all we know, he could have been Rod Carew out there. But he never really got any time. Well, now he's going to get time. He's going to get time with the Miami Marlins. They'll give him at-bats. Norby, not so much. They sent him down because they want him to move to third base, which not sure he has the arm strength for that, but whatever you like, he's your player now. And at the same time, and it's something they mentioned in these articles between Steve Molesky and Rob Kubatko, seller's market, man. Because adding more playoff teams, a lot less sellers out there. Therefore, they can charge more for, their pieces that they're giving away or selling away. Starting pitching is always going to be most expensive. At least for a position, it's going to get a lot of price up there. Trevor Rock, not only am I annoyed that I never really got to see Kyle Stowers play enough, but I'm annoyed that you traded Kyle Stowers and Connor Norby. And I get the reasoning, right? You had depth in starting pitching, and then 3 of them had arm surgeries this year. You lose Coulomb for who knows how long. People, I think, still hope that Batista can get back by the playoffs, but I don't see that happening. So, yeah, you wanted a 5th starter. You didn't want it to be Cole Irvin or Albert Suarez. I looked at Trevor Rogers' numbers. Okay, Mike. Trevor Rogers gets ground balls, and he's left-handed because you want a lefty starter to take care of some of the big lefty power hitters in this division, like say Juan Soto. Short porch now in the left field of Camden Yards, at least compared to right field. I feel like the asking price was too high. And you had Cole Irvin on the roster. You have Albert Suarez on the roster. You had Cade Povich and Chase McDermott down in AAA. So without Rodgers, you don't really have depth. I get that. Now having Rodgers, you get depth. And big thing that drove the price up was 2 full years after the end of this year. 2 full years of control with Trevor Rogers. So you certainly get it, but I'm looking at the numbers, I'm like, I don't think his numbers are better than Albert Suarez's. Because I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, Like a 4.5 ERA. Really? Okay. We'll see, because the word is Trevor Rogers is going to start tonight in Cleveland. And with this, we're, coming to the end of this episode of Ryno's Orioles Report. Very long and probably confusing one. Looking at the schedule, Orioles are in Cleveland right now, going to face the Guardians in a 4-game set. Tonight's game, Thursday, scheduled for 6:40. Tomorrow, Friday, scheduled for 7:10. Saturday night, scheduled for 7:15. Sunday, scheduled for 1:40. And again, the word is Trevor Rogers is going to start tonight, Thursday's game. I mean, why are they so inconsistent with the start times? 7:10, 7:15. Why? Just to drive us people with OCD nuts. Doing it on purpose just to mess with me. And then the Orioles will have an off day Monday. So while that will do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report, stay tuned for Monday, and I will discuss this 4-game series with the Cleveland Guardians. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.